everybody, and welcome back to the Future Stage, where we have Women in Tech conference today at 7 of the October. I hope that you enjoyed your lunch or maybe browsed some exhibition items, and now you're back and we're ready to continue our today's panel. And next up is a discussion. Relocation is one of your career choices. What should we do now? I truly warmly welcome Lau Masile, who is the moderator, as well as the speakers.
All right, hello everyone. Happy to see so many of you on this stage. It's a very, very dear stage for me, and I believe also for many of us here, because it's Riga Tech Girls has been doing this for a few years, and congrats to them. And the content here is really, really special each and every year, so thanks for that. But today we have a discussion on a very, very timely topic about relocation, especially after COVID. And before jumping in, I will just allow our speakers to present themselves. So you can start, and then we can get to our online speaker.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sandra, and I'm today representing Cognizant Latvia. I'm HR lead in this company, and most probably the reason why I'm here invited is because we are one of those companies who are relocating our people to Latvia to work on IT. So hope you will find our experience useful for yourself and also for your businesses.
Good afternoon. My name is Elina Branta. I'm head of product at Swisscom. Swisscom is a relatively new company in Latvia, so it's been a year and a half since first engineers, software engineers started here. Currently 85 people, growing to 300 in next 2 years is our plan. And yeah, we also relocate people, so here to share our experience.
And we also have one speaker joining remotely. Willem, would you mind to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Willem, and I'm the relocation team lead at Bolt in Tallinn, Estonia. And I'm responsible for all the relocation to Estonia. So I have quite a vast experience for many years already of relocating people from different countries to Estonia.
Thanks so much. And I will be here as a moderator. I'm currently the Startup Partnership Manager at HDD Pool and also the board member at TechGel. Been around for some time, so it's definitely valuable to be here today with you and to discuss what's new in the industry. And to jump right in, the first question from my side would be, so how Latvia, or if we're looking at a bigger scale, how Baltics compares or competes when recruiting for IT talent internationally. So what's the special thing that we can just bring people in?
Yeah, I think all of us understand that maybe Latvia is not the most popular choice, because of course people for tech go to places like United States, Great Britain, Netherlands, and etc. But in all honesty, from experience we've shared, there are plenty of people who also appreciate let's say the quality of life in Latvia, and let's say the pluses that Latvia have. People who come from bigger countries appreciate that the environment here is less hectic. Of course, the access to nature, access to our beaches, and like just the quality of life you can get here by working in ICT is the comfort of life you can get is, I think, what attracts one part of people, and of course then people who have already families also look into things like what's going to be the future education, work-wise also for their families. And I think in these aspects Latvia has good offering, and then we also see that people are willing and happy to relocate to Latvia.
So from our experience, what we see, I think you rightly mentioned that this is competition. So we have to some extent sell our country to convince people that it is worth to come here and explore the quality of life as we have as a locals enjoyed living it there. However, I would say that this is a bit of challenge because if we imagine the person who is living abroad and one day the person decides that, hey, that would be a good idea to make my career outside my geo. So, and then he is or she is starting to looking around and considering what options I have. And as we are, let's say, all in IT business, we pretty well know that vacancies or the demand for high-skilled people, it's not only in Latvia, but let's say in all across the Europe or even all across the world. So that's why in our case, what we have see as an advantage, one is for sure that's our brand. Cognizant is a global organization, so it means that first, people most probably choose a company and then they are saying like, where I can get the position in this company, and that's our advantage. And then, when they have been there, what we have heard from many of them who have decided either to return back to their home countries or, let's say, move somewhere else, the conditions of living, the nature, and the, how to say, small city, everything is reachable and so on, those things what they appreciate. And then if we have more and more people being here, that also means that they have spread a good word about us, about our country in their communities. And so this, what to say, awareness of the benefits of the Baltics and particularly Latvia, it's, yeah, this awareness increases.
Willem, do you have anything to add, especially while being based in Estonia? Estonians are very good in bringing IT talent in.
Yeah, Estonia does have this advantage of having the image of a tech country or having the government online, and often people, when they relocate to Estonia, they've heard stories. So they're like, when they arrive here, they want to witness certain aspects of the country. So that definitely is a benefit for us. Of course, I must agree, it is a competition, and it definitely depends on the company also they're coming to. And Bolt does have this advantage because it is quite well known. So people want to have that experience to work in Bolt. But another thing, especially people coming from very big countries like India and so forth, what they really do enjoy in Estonia, and I think Latvia goes in the same class, it's the vicinity of things. Cities are not as big, cities are clean, and they're safe. Because often people relocate from cities which have many millions of people, and the quality of life is not as good. And the Baltics have a better quality of life in that terms. So only thing they need to cope with is our beautiful weather. But otherwise, I hear a lot of good stories that people really do enjoy, that they often don't know what they stepped into, and then they're pleasantly surprised.
And what do you think is like the most common, or one of the most common reasons for people to relocate in general or to Baltics? So you mentioned a few. Do you see some tendency which is like the most common, most popular, or it's really several of them?
So looking from our experience, what we see is that it's definitely Latvia is say market what is growing in terms of IT knowledge. So it means that sometimes technology is what is under demand is very limited availability of talents in Latvia. So that it means that for other geos, for example, like India, they have the more options to make a good career growth outside their geo compared inside their geo. So that's one thing, definitely for the growth and for the conditions of employment. That's like what makes people to choose to go abroad. I think in general, there is no much of difference why someone of us one day might decide to explore another country or explore another company or like even do a career shifting. So the same is happening with the people, let's say, from abroad. But I would say yes, the main reason for them to relocate is actually to improve their conditions of life. It's also a monetary aspect, and the second is definitely about the growth and possibility to strengthen their competence and good experience and records in their CVs. Like,
anything to add?
No, exactly the same reasons. Better life and also to gain these experiences by working in other countries are the main reasons.
Willem, did you have anything to add?
Yes, often also, for example, when people come from Pakistan, they live in a very strict society and they want to experience something different. And that's also like I've heard many of the talents that we brought, they mention how the rules need to abide by are very, very strict in back home. And when they come to Estonia, for example, they feel a bit more free, a bit more capable of doing what they want to do. So I think that's also a strong aspect why they do choose to come to Europe and the Baltics.
Yeah, I think that also relocation from a point of view of our talents leaving maybe to some other country is not necessarily a bad thing. I think gaining additional experience and being out and about, creating completely new networks somewhere else is very beneficial also for those who do come back. So it's definitely not just like a good or bad thing. But if we're looking of a company's perspective, if we're looking as an employer, what are some of the key elements, or what is like the one key for successful relocation?
Yeah, I can start. Of course, I think if I speak for Swisscom, of course, our primary goal is to find someone on the local market. If that is not possible, then of course we look abroad. And then for us to be successful, of course, we want the right person with the right skills, with the right attitude, with the right mindset. And then, of course, we want this person in a timely manner so that this relocation to be successful happens quick. And we also believe that the process has to be as lean as possible, which is not always the case because of legal requirements. And then, of course, also expectation management between the company and relocant, the candidate who is about to relocate, also to make sure that both sides know exactly what is expected from each of those sides. I think would be the main reasons for us to say, okay, the process is successful.
I can maybe divide that in two parts. One is about the process, and the process is important. However, I have to say that we are still in our journey to figure out like how we can improve our future colleagues' experience, because sometimes it is a bit time-consuming, sometimes it is frustrating, but I think the key element there is actually communication. Good communication with the candidate, our future employee, that we are reachable, that we are there, that we are ready to help, answer the questions, and also guide him what kind of steps he has or she has to go through. And the second, for successful relocation, actually, I would put more attention on the outcome. So, because I think the process, if that is not, let's say, very smooth, will be somehow, how to say, given a discount from the candidate's side if the outcome, when he arrived in the company, start doing the job, is actually something what he appreciates and feel welcome. So the first, that we are ensuring the content what we have promised, that we are creating environment when they are, let's say, welcome, where they can come as they are and being, let's say, very well accepted and even integrated in the teams and feel like they are, no difference like relocated or local. So they are one team working for the goal, for the clients, and this is their new home. So I think that's very important, though, that they are not feeling disappointed on the outcome when they arrive here. That's actually very important also for retention and for future successful collaboration. And we see that if this process and the outcome is very good, so that we have reached a good, word of mouth, what they're spreading, and we see that many people, let's say, start coming or applying for positions in our company. So this actually correlation between successful relocation and more interest showed for the company and position is observed, let's say, on a daily basis.
Willem, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I must agree with other speakers. Just to add, I think it's very important to be very clear about the processes, that the person who's relocating knows exactly how long things take, and also to communicate this within the organization, that the manager who is hiring this person also understands the processes and understands the timelines, so that both sides don't have any surprises. And if things are clear, then also the person relocating is having a stress-free, hopefully, a stress-free experience. So when they arrive finally in the destination country, they feel like the whole process was seamless, and they can just focus on their new life in the country and their job, not stress about things that might have happened during the time they moved to the country.
And on the flip side, what is like the key success from an employee point of view? What should employee do, or if we would be relocating, what should we do? So maybe Willem, you wanna start off with this one, and then we'll go on with the ladies.
Yeah, I think from an employee perspective, it's very important to keep an open mind. We've used as example people from India and Pakistan here, and because if you enter a new cultural space, you need to kind of be open-minded and understand that things are different in the country. Because when people get annoyed that things don't work like in home, this can escalate. So it's very important to kind of accept that this is a new place, things are done differently, and through that also they will live into this new place. Also, what I hear from many people I've relocated is to kind of stick to their base habits. Find a gym they go to, find a good place to eat, so that just continue living their lives, and then this will help them to settle in their new home.
Ladies, comments?
Maybe talking from employer's perspective, what is ideal candidate? Of course, ideal candidate means that the person has thought already in advance about relocation, so that he has done some research or pre-study understanding how long this process might take, what will be expected from him, what documents will be needed. If he is traveling with his family, also considering some practicalities, also taking into account that not all steps can be predicted very well. So that means that then this collaboration goes smoother, so if the person is ready. So as also Willem has said, during this, let's say, journey of relocation, there might be, let's say, different surprises. So if we are relocating, let's say, from the same country, we also, as an employer, are learning some tips and tricks and what might be the struggle points and trying to inform in advance. But for example, if we are, let's say, exploring the new geo, so there also might be several surprises for us. And I think its success lies in a very good communication and collaboration with the candidate and readiness to overcome difficulties, what might appear. But the main thing, I think, if the candidate is motivated and willing to do that, then usually, I haven't faced a situation where we can't find any kind of solution. That would be the main.
From employees' perspective, for it to be successful, I can only agree to Willem that about the open mind is that the candidate or the employee needs to have. But I also think what is important is we understand that moving to a new country is stressful, it's hard, you're stepping into unknown, if you're especially doing it with your family, and I think for them it is important to feel supported by the company who's helping them to do this process, supported in all aspects, from not just coming here, not just finding flat, but opening bank account, finding kindergarten for the child, and I think this is, if they feel this support and then it's easier for them to settle into a new country, then I think they would also consider the process to be successful from their side.
Yeah. And we could say that people who relocate internationally are quite flexible in a way. And you know, they can be pretty much everywhere. They can choose another local employer. They can go with another international employer. So if we do have these employees who have relocated, how do we keep them in the company?
I think this already, I can just continue on what I said before. Yeah, of course they're flexible, so if they moved once, they have no problem moving the second time. And the way that we deal in Swisscom with how to retain them and keep them is first help them settle in here, to establish a life, to establish some routine, going to their gym, as Willem mentioned. And then, of course, important is if they're here with their family, that also the family needs help settling in here. Because maybe, let's say, the wife has a job at Swisscom, she's working as software engineer, but husband also probably will look for a job, and he will not be able to find it in Latvia. That, of course, that will create some unhappiness in the overall family, and that leads to risks. So we also try to support on that side. We've had good cases if the spouse or partner is also a software engineer, but then of course we can manage. But if the person is a journalist, then of course for us Swisscom it's hard to offer a position, but of course we also helped find that in the market. Same with schools and kindergartens. That's one thing to, like, let's say, help them settle here, and then how to retain them, like, let's say, more specifically in the company. I think then it's like just for any other employee, it's about offering some growth perspectives, interesting projects, newest technologies to work with. We see that this is something that attracts people to Swisscom and that we ensure. So then once they have this, let's say, life settled in here, also they come here, they maybe don't have any friends, so we also do community events, so they can also meet and create friends here, and we also invite their partners and their spouses to these events with other spouses, so they can also create new friends, meet some friends also, and create some relationships here. Then that's how we try to do it.
In general, I would say to retain relocated people and to retain local people, there is no much of difference as from, how to say, needs, what we need as a humans. So, like, they are as the same as local people, and I believe the same as you, like, primarily are looking for the content, for the interesting job, for the possibility to grow, for the possibility to make connections with their colleagues, to have good sense of belonging to the company and felt integrated in the state. What I have found out from my experience talking with relocated people, and why some days they decided either to move back home or to choose another country, and I think this is still our journey as a society and as a state as well, is that we are not much of friendly for the families, relocated people families. It's the same as Evia has mentioned, so that it is easier for us to offer the job for the couple in IT, because this is, let's say, international language. You don't need to know the local or the culture, let's say, some kind of aspects. But usually it's very rare cases when both from the family are interested in IT. So, and that means that if the partners can't find the job in the state, and there is a problems with the schools because international school options are very limited or very expensive. So at some stage, no matter how well people are feeling in the company or how much they like Latvian nature or connectivity or so on, they have to also think and take care about practicalities. And that is the main struggle what we have seen, because if the person has the family, at some extent, we can understand that the loyalty to the family and family needs is more important than just individual needs. So that is maybe something what we also are trying to influence and make the message heard to the state, working with different communities as an employer, to provide this feedback and helping us to become more attractive as a state, not only for the individuals, but for their families. Because if the person is relocating with the family, so that means, how to say, much deeper and well-considered decision, just going alone. So, and if relocating with the family, that would be our interest, that they found themselves in the state in a long term. So, because you might ask yourself also, like, for those whom you have families, like, would that be easier to change the state, especially, for example, if you have kids on schooling? And if you have made the decisions, it means that you are looking for some kind of long term, and that we have to help.
Willem, what's your take on this?
I must agree with the other panelists, and with families, it's always very important that the families feel settled in, and I don't have anything really to add on that matter. It's very important for kids to find a school and for the spouse to be able to find a job, and of course it's easier in IT sector. But a lot of the relocatees, I would say more, actually do come alone, not with families, and for those people, I think it's very important to find friends, because we all need friends. Within Bolt, we really try to push that. We organized many different events when people can socialize and can meet new people, so they feel they are part of a family. And also, the most important thing is to have a good and well-organized settling process, that people get all of their essential needs done, that they can, they feel that they belong. And like this, the chance that they will stay longer is higher. Because if they feel lonely and they feel that they are not cared of, then the likelihood that they will look for a new location or new company is high.
And so now we do have this employee in the company, they have relocated, they're here. How do you manage the processes when the employee is already here and they're all set? How do you track that they are getting integrated into the community and into the company, and that everything is going well? Is it just about communication, or is it something else? Because if a new person relocates to a completely new country, there is probably some shyness or some hesitance to say, hey, I'm not feeling this or that. So what do you do when you have this employee here? How do you manage the processes?
So I would say that I have heard that also from Latvians who have relocated to some other countries, that it's much easier to make connections, organize some gatherings, or attend some kind of events when you are abroad. So it's easier for you to make, how to say, the common language with your, with the other human from the state, from the same country. The same is also with relocated people. They are much more open to organize some kind of activities, or let's say talk with other relocated people, because they have much in common. And how we can support that from the company side is that we are also creating our processes, or let's say practices, or the culture where we are introducing. So, for example, in onboarding, it may be a good idea that they have two buddies. One is local, who is helping with the practicalities, but another person is who also has been relocated. So they have much in common, so they have went through the similar experiences. I also think that from company side, working with different cultures, it's very open to keep that in mind when we're organizing some kind of events. And here I think that it's not only so much about what company are doing for the people, but how much possibilities our company providing for the people to take care of themselves. So In our company, it means that soon we are waiting that, not waiting, but soon in October, end of October, there will be Diwali festival. So that is very, let's say, important celebration for our India colleagues. And instead of us trying to guess what would be a good celebration for them, we are, let's say, providing opportunities and giving, let's say, the mandate for them to organize this fest as they do want. And this is also a good possibilities for them to introduce with their culture, with their country, and that helps this, let's say, both ways mingling and knowing about each other to improve the collaboration and cooperation. That is just, let's say, some couple of examples what I can say what we are doing.
Glad to hear. We have in Swisscom we have a similar approach as in Cognizant with these things. So just to add on, of course, we also do these events and we let them. We also do, let's say, culture nights, especially in our Rotterdam office that has only relocation expats working there. It's exactly, you bring the culture, you introduce them, they are happy, they can talk about their culture, and then our other colleagues also know this culture. But so many events and then how we try to bring this together, but I think it's also important, the communication part and how you communicate and people will not understand the same thing in the same way. I can share just a short story of what happened to us this summer. When you tell Latvians that we're going to have a company laivu brauciens, and you say in English boat ride, for everyone in Latvia it's clear what that is. So we're using laivu brauciens, translating directly to English to boat ride, organized, amazing. We go to Sigulda. We get out of the buses, and whenever they're getting on a bus, I was like, why they have no bags with them? You know, because you always have so many bags when you go with food, drinks, spare clothes, towel. And I was like, it's a little bit weird they have no big bags with them, because my bag, I cannot lift my bag. And when they got off at Sigulda from the bus, and I saw kayaks, essentially, they were like, excuse me, what is this? This is not boat ride, this is kayaking. And for us to just a small, let's say, translation error, they assume that they're going to be going on a little yacht ship that drives you around the river, and it's going to be some music. So they were people in dresses, white sneakers, their best outfits. So yeah, that's important. If you have different cultures, people understand different things differently, and it's important to pay attention to these things. They did the kayaking, they're happy, they will always remember it, but of course their expectations were totally different.
Yeah. Willem, any fun stories from Bolt?
It's the communication thing, right? So I think it's what we always do, what our relocation specialists do, they inform, they give the little details. What shop, what to find, what products, what to wear. When people come from a very warm country, they have no idea. They've never worn a hat or a scarf. How do they manage during winter? And also maybe teach local habits, teach Estonian. So we have Estonian classes for our people, so they don't feel so isolated. So it's like all these little things that are very important to make sure they retain and they stay and they feel part of it. And we organize different events when people can meet each other. I heard a lot of panelists also mention cultural events. So all those little things are very important. And also to make them understand things are different. I've had one Indian relocate team was very concerned that when he looks out the window, he cannot see any people. And I had to explain to him, well, it's Estonia and it's winter, it's cold outside, so we don't really stay outside. So he was trying to find an apartment in a location where he could see the most people outside, because then he feels comfortable, then it's more like in home. Because back in India, there's always lots of people you see out the window. So it's little things that you can help them, and things that may seem very basic to us, but we can. They're not basic to them, because for them everything is new. So just to keep that in mind.
All right, so the final question from my side, probably very, like talents would be very interested, but also employers. So can relocation, in your opinion, be a new and successful start for a career change?
Yeah, I'm not going to encourage people here to relocate for career change. I think there are also great opportunities in Latvia, probably also in Estonia, to if you want to go into career change, so many options. Also, what Riga Tech Girl does. Also, many companies offer internal, trainings and mentorships. So the career change possibilities are plenty in Latvia, especially if you want to go in tech, you have the interest. I think you can find opportunities, but of course, if the wish is to experience different cultures, different people, different mentalities, then yeah, also relocation can be a way for career change, but you can also change your career here locally.
I say that we are out of time, but just small addition from my side. All of you who are here, if you have friends, relatives, I don't know, classmates, whomever, like who is now, let's say, making their careers outside Latvia, this is a great opportunity for them to come back and do a career shifting and maybe also join IT community, because I think here this is the industry with future. So this is the industry where vacancies are more than the talents, and this is an industry where employers are investing much in training and providing support for people to be, professional and skilled. So that would be my say to you. So that's great opportunity for all abroad whom you know to return back and start their careers in IT.
Willem, do you have your final remarks on this question?
Yes, I think relocation definitely can be a good option for a career change and to develop. If I think of Bolt, like we have basically half of the employees have relocated to Estonia to work here, and many of them have very good new careers, and then this has opened new doors for them because maybe in their home country the competition is too tight or whichever is the reason. So it definitely can be. Of course, I must agree with other panelists. It's always preferred to find employees locally, but at the same time, relocation to a new country to start a new job can be a great opportunity for someone who's looking for something new and exciting.
Okay, thank you so much for the speakers, both our online speaker and in-person speaker. It was great having you here and discussing this very important topic. And yeah, that's it for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.